All right, so you know how it is you're having a conversation about basketball before you know it.
It always happens.
Yeah, it always happens.
The GOAT conversation.
It's like you can't escape it. Those three names, LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kobe.
Yeah, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, it's like they're always there looming over every basketball conversation.
It's true. So today we're not going to try to settle that debate once and for all.
That's a debate for the ages, right?
Right. But we are going to take a deep dive into LeBron James right now, where he's at, what he's thinking.
Yeah, like a snapshot of LeBron in 2025.
Exactly. And we got some really interesting stuff to work with. He was recently on the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Really opened up. And we've also got some insights from NBA insider Eric Pincus. So we're going to look at his relationships with Jordan and Kobe.
Those are always fascinating dynamics.
They really are. And then we're going to get into that big question about his future with the Lakers.
Is he staying? What's the deal?
And to top it off, we're going to look at a potential trade target that could really shake things up for the Lakers.
Sounds like a packed deep dive.
Buckle up. Let's start with LeBron's interview with Pat McAfee. Now, obviously, his relationship, or maybe lack thereof, with Michael Jordan came up.
Right. I mean, everyone wants to know about that.
Of course. And LeBron was very candid about it. He said, me and Michael Jordan are in a good place. We don't talk. I think it's because I'm still playing right now. I'm fully locked in on my career, and that's where my focus is.
Interesting. So it's not like there's bad blood.
No, not at all.
It's more like a respectful distance.
Yeah, and I think LeBron has a theory about why Jordan's keeping his distance.
Makes sense. I mean, Jordan is notoriously competitive.
Exactly. LeBron said, and I'm quoting here, we all know MJ, even if you've never met him. You know what kind of competitor he is. He's one of the most ruthless, cutthroat competitors in sports history.
No arguments there.
Right. And then he went on to say, and I think, until I'm done playing, until he doesn't have to watch me running up and down the court in number 23, hearing my name mentioned alongside his, every single time he's like, I don't talk to you, don't call me, don't text me.
Wow, that paints a very vivid picture, doesn't it?
It really does. You can almost feel that competitive fire even now.
And you have to wonder, does that ever really go away for guys like that?
That's a great question. Like, is that level of competitiveness just part of their DNA even after they retire?
It would be interesting to know, right? Like, how do you switch that off?
For sure. But LeBron seems to understand it, and he's actually hopeful that things will change down the road. He said, I hope that changes one day. Maybe when I'm done playing, we'll be able to have those talks. But right now, I think he's just letting me do my thing.
Yeah, there's a sense of respect there.
Definitely. He's not pushing it. He's letting Jordan be Jordan.
All right, so let's talk about Kobe now. How did LeBron describe his relationship with Kobe Bryant?
Well, it's interesting he mentioned that they didn't always have a strong connection.
Really? That's surprising.
I know, right? You think these guys would have been close, but LeBron said, me and Kobe never had a real relationship until we played together on the Olympic team.
That's interesting how a shared experience like that can bring people together, even if they're rivals.
It's true. And he said they had a great relationship during those Olympic runs, but even then it was always competitive between them, you know?
Of course, pushing each other, even on the same team.
Always. But then things really changed when LeBron joined the Lakers after Kobe had retired.
Okay, so after Kobe was done playing.
Yeah, that's when their relationship really blossomed. LeBron said, when I became a Laker and he retired, that's when our relationship really grew. He welcomed me with open arms. He told me, call me bro, whatever you need in LA. I got you. And you're a Laker. Now you're family. That meant everything to me.
Ah, that's so cool to hear, like passing the torch kind of moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And LeBron has always spoken about his deep respect for Kobe and his commitment to carrying on his legacy.
It seems like that bond they formed in those later years was really special.
For sure. And it just goes to show you these three guys, Jordan, Bryant, James, they're the heart of that GOAT debate.
I mean, you can't talk about basketball greatness without talking about those three.
It's true. Jordan with his championships and MVPs, Bryant with that incredible work ethic, and then LeBron, now the all-time leading scorer.
And each of them representing a different style, a different path to greatness.
It's amazing. And LeBron's always had a pretty humble perspective on those comparisons.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get caught up in the hype.
Not really. He
Yeah.
once said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he never played to be better than anyone else. He just wanted to be the best version of himself. But it's an honor to be mentioned alongside Jordan and Bryant in those conversations.
Yeah, a very grounded perspective.
Totally. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about LeBron's future with the Lakers.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting.
It does, because there's a real possibility that he might leave.
Even after winning a championship with them.
Now, it sounds crazy, right? But NBA insider Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report suggests that LeBron might be the most likely of the Lakers' key free agents to move on.
Wow, so what's his reasoning there?
Well, Pincus points to a few things. LeBron's age, obviously he's not getting any younger.
True father time is undefeated.
Exactly. And then there's his legacy, which is already pretty much cemented.
I mean, he's achieved pretty much everything you can in basketball.
Exactly. So Pincus thinks LeBron might be looking for one last challenge, one last opportunity to shape his own destiny.
So he wants to be in control of his final act, so to speak.
Exactly. Now, it's not just LeBron with contract decisions to make it. Dorian Finney-Smith has a player option, so he can decide whether to stay with the Lakers for another year at his current salary or test the free agency waters.
Okay, and what about Jackson Hayes? He had a really good playoff run.
Yeah, he did. He might see his value go up this summer, but the big one, the one everyone's watching, is LeBron's player option. It's worth a whopping $52.6 million.
That's a lot of money to leave on the table.
It is, if he picks it up, he's back in LA for another season. But if he declines it, then he becomes a free agent, and the possibilities are endless.
It's a huge decision for him and for the Lakers.
Absolutely. Now, Pincus also threw out a really interesting hypothetical trade scenario involving Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
It would be a blockbuster trading Davis for Luka Doncic.
Wow, that would completely change the landscape of the league.
It would, and Pincus suggests that this kind of move might actually re-energize LeBron, give him another shot at a title alongside a young superstar like Doncic.
Yeah, that's a really intriguing possibility.
It is. So back to LeBron's contract situation. Pincus believes the most realistic scenario is that LeBron opts out of his current deal, but then re-signs with the Lakers on a shorter-term contract.
So kind of like a one-year deal with a player option for a second year.
Exactly. That way he has more flexibility, and the Lakers get some stability for at least one more season.
That's a common strategy for veteran players at this stage in their careers.
It is now, Pincus does mention some other less likely scenarios if LeBron decides to leave the Lakers.
Like what teams could afford him?
He mentions the Brooklyn Nets and the Detroit Pistons as teams with enough salary cap space to offer him a max contract.
Interesting. But those teams are still in rebuilding mode.
Yeah, so Pincus doesn't see those as very probable destinations, but he does throw out one more intriguing possibility.
Okay, I'm curious.
A return to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow. That would be a storybook ending, wouldn't it?
It really would imagine LeBron going back to Cleveland for one last run, teaming up with Garland Mitchell and Mobley.
I mean, the narrative writes itself. The prodigal son returns to bring another championship to his hometown.
It's a long shot, but you can't rule it out completely.
Yeah, you never know, but realistically, the Lakers probably make the most sense.
They do, and when you look at LeBron's performance this past season, it's hard to imagine him slowing down anytime soon.
The guy is a freak of nature.
He really is. At 40 years old, he averaged almost 25 points a game, shot over 50% from the field, nearly 40% from three-point range, and he was dishing out 8 assists and grabbing 8 rebounds per game.
Those are still MVP caliber numbers.
Absolutely, so he's clearly still got it.
No doubt. But this decision isn't just about basketball, right?
You're right. It's about family business legacy. All of those things will factor into LeBron's decision.
And then there's the Bronny factor.
Right. LeBron has made it very clear that he wants to play with his son in the NBA, and Bronny is eligible for the 2025 draft. So
It could be a huge deciding factor.
it could be. All right, let's talk about the Lakers themselves now and how they might look to improve their roster regardless of what LeBron decides.
So assuming he stays, or even if he doesn't, they're always looking to get better.
Exactly. And there are reports that they're interested in a young forward named Toumani Camara. He's currently playing for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay, I'm not super familiar with him. What's the scouting report?
Well, he's a second-round pick in the 2023 draft, but he's really exceeded expectations. He's known for his defensive tenacity and his improving perimeter shooting.
Sounds like a valuable asset.
He is.
Yeah.
And the Lakers are always looking for reliable role players, especially if they're envisioning a future with LeBron and maybe even Luka Doncic.
Yeah, a guy like Kamara could be a great fit.
Yeah.
He seems to have that hustle and that defensive mindset that the Lakers sometimes lack.
That's exactly what they need. Colin Keane from the Sporting News said he competes relentlessly on the defensive end, using his length to disrupt plays and battle for rebounds. This kind of effort is precisely what the Lakers have been lacking at times this season.
High praise.
It is. And on top of his defense, Camara has been steadily improving his three-point shooting, which is so crucial in today's NBA.
You need guys who can space the floor, especially when you have players like LeBron and Doncic who command so much attention.
And here's another thing that makes Camara so attractive. He's on a very team-friendly contract.
Oh, that's always music to a team's ears.
right? He's making less than $2 million this season. And the Trailblazers have team options for the next 2 years at very reasonable salaries. So he's a bargain.
Wow, so he's young, talented, and affordable. That's the trifecta.
It is. But acquiring him won't be easy. The Trailblazers have seen his potential, and they're not going to just give him away.
Of course they'll want something in return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Lakers would have to offer some combination of draft picks, young players, or maybe even some veteran contracts to make a deal work.
It'll be interesting to see if they can pull it off.
It will. And they're probably not the only team interested in Kamara, so they might have some competition.
Makes sense. If I'm a GM, I'd be calling Portland about him, too.
But if the Lakers can land him, it could be a huge boost for them. Defensively, he brings that toughness and versatility that they need. And offensively, his shooting could really open things up for LeBron and Doncic.
He's only 24, so he's got a lot of room to grow.
Exactly. So he could be a key piece for them both now and in the future.
Sounds like a smart move if they can make it happen.
It does. And it would show that they're serious about building a championship contender around LeBron while he's still playing at a high level.
All right, so let's wrap this up. What are the key takeaways from our deep dive today?
Well, we got some incredible insights into LeBron's mindset. From his interview with Pat McAfee, we learned about his relationships with Jordan and Kobe, which are so complex and fascinating.
And we really got a sense of the competitive fire that burns within these legendary players.
We did. Then we dove into the big question marks surrounding LeBron's future with the Lakers, all those contract scenarios, and the potential for him to team up with Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and how all of that is intertwined with his family, his legacy, his desire to play with his son.
And then we explored the possibility of the Lakers adding Toumani Camara, a young and talented forward who could really address some of their needs.
It's a really intriguing time for LeBron and for the Lakers.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder. Considering LeBron's desire to play with Bronny and the Lakers' potential with Doncic and maybe even Kamara, what do you think will be the deciding factor in LeBron's next career move?
Yeah. What will he prioritize? Will it be legacy? Will it be another championship? Or will it be family?
It's a decision that will have a huge impact on the league, and we can't wait to see what happens.
This has been a great deep dive. Lots to think about.
We hope you enjoyed it and that it gave you a deeper understanding of LeBron James and the Lakers as they navigate this crucial offseason.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of basketball.
Until then, keep those conversations going and keep debating who the real Jew is.
That debate will never end.
It never will.